Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust, all institutes, and then PBS, our new baby, Pune Business School, I welcome all the viewers and the panel members. We have with us Rakesh Nair, sir. We have with us Mr. Mahesh Gosavi, sir, and Uma Dabir, ma'am. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. I will just introduce what exactly is PCET and what is its journey. So we have started Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust in the year 1990. We provide quality education from KG to PhD. We have total 8 institutes, and now we have also taken over or having administrative tie-up with Nutan Group Talegaon. We have courses like engineering, architecture, MCA, MBA, PGDM, PhD, then school, junior college, diploma, as well as BO courses. And we are famous not only in Maharashtra but also across India for excellent placement opportunities given to students as well as disciplined academics. Our PCT achievements, if you can see, around 3,000 research papers our students and faculty have published in renowned journals. We have 450 plus patents filed, around 300 copyrights, and we are also ranked in India's top 200 institutes by Government of India's NIRF ranking. We are also ranked by Outlook, DataQuest, India Today, Times, The Week, and whatnot. Almost all these ranking agencies, they have ranked in top 50 to 80 institutes across India, including government as well as private colleges. We are 3 times accredited by NBA. Most of our institutes are NAAC and ISO certified. We have almost around 20 to 25 university toppers each year. And as far as placements are concerned, we have placed around 23,000 students from across the country in last few years. Not only our students, we help the unemployed youth from across not only Maharashtra but nearby 7-8 states. Their students also participate in our off-campus drives, and we offer salaries in the range of from maybe say 3 lakhs to my maximum package was around 32 lakhs. Placement percentage remains in the range of 70 to 80%, and we have very good, almost around 1,000 industry partners who are associated with us for many years now. And out of them, at least around 600 of them conduct the recruitment drives for our management, engineering, diploma students every year. And apart from that, we have also placed the students in international organizations in Japan, etc., up to the tune of salary 20 lakhs. Just to give an example, Capgemini, which is one of the major IT recruiter, they have recruited our 323 students this year, even though pandemic was there. And it was their first drive across the country. They have also considered our college in their 15 top premium institutes across the country, and that's why they offer differential packages, even up to 6.8 lakhs and 3.8 lakhs. Then apart from that, KPIT, then TCS, T-Systems, L&T, Wipro, Infosys, all these companies, they also provide recruitment to our students. And then in our off-campus recruitment drives, till date, almost around 12 lakh students have registered. So that was all about PCET. And dear friends, I will now introduce today's panelist. We are really privileged to have very eminent personalities with us. We have Mr. Mahesh Gosavi, sir, who is the Center Head of Talent Acquisition at T-Systems ICT India Private Limited. He is BE Mechanical. He was rank holder in BE, as well as he has done his MBA Marketing from a reputed institute, SIDNAM. Then he has 15 years professional work experience in global hiring, talent acquisition, campus hiring, then client management, then managing RPO, business planning, recruitment and sales. And he has worked in different organizations, reputed organizations like T-Systems, Persistent, SearchQuest, ABC Consultants, then General Insurance. And he has his own way of thinking. He's a person who continuously innovates and comes up with new ideas in campus recruitment. He has come up with kind of rapid fire rounds, etc., which were really unique concepts. So, sir, I welcome you on behalf of PCET, our students and staff members. And just for viewers' information, he is about to file 3 patents also in the campus hiring model. So, sir, we wish good luck to you in as far as your work in this research, patents, and IPR is concerned. Apart from Mahesh Gosavi, sir, we have one of the renowned personality in industry sector, Ragesh Nair sir, who is the director at Birla Soft, and he has huge experience in campus hiring as well as other stuff as far as HR related work is concerned. He is also one of the, as far as my knowledge is concerned, for me, he is one of the ideal HR, very innovative, we can say, as well as ethical person, and he has done his MBA in HR as well as labor law from Symbiosis, and he is also working in different industries. Like earlier, he was with KPIT, then Patni, iGate, we can say, and Sears also he has worked in different capacities, HR head, then maybe currently he's working as director, and he is working in the information technology and services industry. So welcome Ragesh Nair sir on behalf of PCT. I welcome you. We also have Miss Uma Dabir. She is a corporate trainer in communication, leadership development, conflict management, as well as personality assessment. She's about to join us soon. She is facing some technical issues, and even Lavangare sir is facing certain issues. So let's hope that they will join. Uma ma'am has she has done her MBA in marketing, and she is also specialized in economics as well as statistics. So this is all about our today's guest, dear friends. I now request our panel members to give their opening remarks about today's topic, that is expectations of corporate sector from the freshers. I now request Honorable Mahesh Gosavi sir to please give his opening remarks. Sir, Mahesh sir, you are on mute, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now, please.
Okay, so I said good morning to all my friends, and thank you, Ravandali sir, for such a nice introduction about PCCOA and the entire group. So it's pleasure always to connect with you, especially your institute, as well as all the friends who are pursuing their education. Opening remark, I'll keep it very brief. This pandemic has taught us more than anyone could have taught us. So it's an opportunity, isn't it? And all the students have greater responsibility to build job, and other thing is one part, but build the country as a talent pool. So there's a bigger responsibility we all shoulder in, and we need to be really prepared because India is going to be a very different market in next 3 to 4 years, the way I anticipate, and we all need to be prepared, ready to build that image, to enhance that image of the country at a larger scale. And we need to be equipped with multiple skills, and more than skills, the attitude, the approach, which will impart, in coming, because these challenges will keep on coming, like pandemic, and it's just a beginning. So we need to be very multifaceted, not only focused. It's beyond job and beyond career, isn't it? So yeah, that's my opening remark to start with, and I'll interact more with the student with due course of time. Yeah, thank you. You are on mute, sir, I think. Hello.
Yes, sir. Sorry. Yeah. So thank you, Mahesh sir, for your opening remarks. Mahesh sir is also known as a good cricketer, and he really is a die-hard fan as well as player in cricket. I now request Honorable Ragesh sir to please give his opening remarks. Ragesh sir, please.
Thanks, Ramandre sir. I'm humbled with all the introduction what you have given. The advantage being a second speaker is that you have to agree with the first speaker, right? So I more or less agree to and second to what Mahesh has already said. Prior to this call, we were just discussing. I mean, talent is something which is going to be extremely important for a country like ours, most of we being a developing country. So it's extremely important that we focus right from the the initiation itself, and the market is opening up. Pandemic was a big lesson for us. We actually kind of completely were forced to rally. I mean, I was just thinking that our business continuity plan was already in place, but that was more in theory. And thanks to pandemic, it came into execution, right? So I look forward to interact with the students, and I look forward to have questions at their end, which I'll be in a position to address. Yeah, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir. Rakesh sir, in his personal capacity or individual capacity also, he is really keen in bridging the gap between industry and academia, and even in this session as a individual, he is really keen to share his views, and he is known for giving good inputs to different sort of students, maybe we can say engineering as well as management students. So Mahesh sir, my question to you is, what will be the impact of pandemic on onboarding as well as next version of campus placement? Because maybe due to this pandemic, there will be many changes expected, not only in work culture, but even in campus hiring, online modules will be there. So what are your views, sir? Please.
I'll talk from a larger perspective. So we have to look at microeconomics and macroeconomics both. How it will evolve. Because of this pandemic, as I said, the opportunities has increased. Because if you look at Europe, if you look at Americas, if you look at China, the business will cut down and it will flow towards India. So that's the reason I'm being very optimistic. We have seen last 4-5 months there's ample growth opportunities for everyone. So everyone is looking at India from a very different standpoint at the moment. And as Sir Nair sir has rightly said, the talent starts from the beginning. So everyone is looking at the fresher in a very strategic way. Gone the days that fresher has been looked at only as a fillers or to cut down the cost or to bring the cost down. So that was the initial focus. But now, as I said, things are evolving in such a way that the freshers, the people from campus will play very, very critical role. Okay, what they would have done in 5-6 years of experience, they'll start doing it in first 2 years itself. So the expectations will change. Because of this digital platform. Things will change in a very, very different way. The communication will become even more critical because if you're not meeting people face to face, it will have a different impact. So there are a lot of dynamics which will change, but it's positive. It's positive that people will look forward to hire people from campus in a strategic way. They'll get ample opportunities. The global scenarios are changing. India will become even stronger as an economy. And you can see the GDP growth and economics. It's been very positive approach altogether. But yes, having said that, we have a bigger responsibility to be prepared because what kind of challenges will be thrown in near future. We all need to be prepared in a different way in a global scenario. So that's my opening remarks. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, yes. And sir, as far as your own company is concerned, during this pandemic also, you could recruit some of the students as well as lateral hires. What is your say on that as far as T
Yeah,
Systems is concerned?
I was just talking to Nair sir, and we were discussing the same. In fact, this year I ended up hiring more people, than previous years. Okay, because my company is a Germany-based Deutsche Telekom, organization, and we have T-Mobile as our sister concern, which is in USA. So the situation there is quite panic, unlike India. And fortunately, India covered it very well. Everyone was saying that India will suffer the most, but we have a different immunity altogether. So fortunately, touch wood, it has not impacted that much. So we hired more than say 1,500 people, sir. These are all experienced people in a year. Okay, and it was
Okay.
tough because that touch is missing, that connect is missing. We are not inviting anyone to the office, so generally people are not able to relate to the brand, to the to the company. to the office. So it becomes difficult to onboard also, because if you don't have any connection, you don't feel like joining the company. You have to have some vibes, some connection, some correlation, which was missing entirely. So we have to innovate a lot. We have to create digital platforms. We have to engage people differently, and we have to still make it happen. Because business-wise, nothing stops. Business has continued, and so did the growth. But yeah, we introduced a lot of digital platforms, and we intend to do that campus hiring also. We have a good plans for this year. Okay, and we are engaging talent in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice, sir. Thank you so much. I hope all the viewers, maybe students as well as placement officers, they'll be really happy to know that T-Systems has good plans coming ahead. I think they will recruit good numbers. And recently, we are about to conduct their recruitment drive also for current batch, that is 2021 batch. So many students will get the benefit out of it. And yes, sir, you rightly said the dynamics are changing. Yes, virtual joining, this is really new concept for TPOs, students, as well as companies. And maybe this pandemic is teaching us many lessons. This might be one of the good lesson. Maybe there are some positive points also. At a time, initially, I think at a time you have to join some selected numbers because there were some logistics limitations for the students to join, because at a time there were certain limits to how many students you can cater at a time. But yes, online you can take good numbers at a time also. So maybe this situation will help us again move forward in a very positive way. Thank you so much, sir, for answering. Now my next question is to Ragesh Nair, sir. Rakesh sir, these engineering students, many industries say that yes, as far as these engineering students are concerned, they are really good as far as their marks, their concepts are concerned. But maybe up to certain extent, they need more as far as their application knowledge is concerned. They need to work more. So, what do you think, sir? What are the activities these engineering or even other graduates should do during graduation to become industry ready? Ragesh sir, please.
Thanks, Shitul sir. Apparently, yes, that's something which we have as an industry. We are grappling with that particular issue. The buck stops. I mean, we all are responsible for, I guess, a lot of initiative the student himself has to take at his end to hone his skills. Government is doing its bit. Yeah, I mean, you would have recently got the new education policy which has come in place. That's a effort in the right direction. I'm not going for the pros and cons for that, but that's something which we need to kind of appreciate. That something new and something has been tried out. There is a dearth of talent. Yeah, and that talent can only be bridged not through the curriculum. I'm not against the curriculum what has been put forth, but that curriculum has to be in conjunction with what is the requirement from the industry perspective. There are multiple ways the students can kind of engage himself or herself to kind of see to it that they are industry ready. Obviously, the concepts, you harped on the concept, that's something which is extremely important. But there again, when we talk about the concepts, that's something which you have to take it very lightly. That the typical approach of ours towards education is more in terms of securing the mark, right? And probably as companies are also a culprit in terms of putting on a cutoff there, and that's the kind of added pressure which builds onto a candidate to kind of secure a 60% and a 65%, because everybody has a dream company to be a part to, right? But then I guess more than the marks and the percentages, it's the fundamental things which a student should focus on. The teaching and learning pedagogy which the colleges have, that calls for an urgent, an intervention in terms of relooking into it. Thanks to the pandemic, I'm sure a lot of efforts have been put at year end to kind of revisit on that, right? The old archaic way of kind of doing that particular thing has been completely done, right? So from a student's perspective, the projects what we do undertake becomes extremely important. So we liberally use this word called as live projects. I'm not sure that's a terminology which is still being used, but that live projects are necessarily which are supposed to be the industry problems with the industry is grappling with, right? And they should partake into see to it that those issues they also contribute in their own ways and means. Yeah, so a live project is a wonderful opportunity for a student to kind of engage into and expose to. I haven't come across, Mahesh, you need to correct me, but I haven't come across many cases during the campus interviews wherein a student beyond and besides what he or she's been kind of, portraying in terms of the academic achievements and all, has there been anything over and above the academics? Say, for example, certifications. Yeah, I haven't come across many students coming back and saying so during the first year and the second year and third year, this is over and above what I have done. Yeah, this is something which my professor would have recommended for me. This is something which I would have kind of checked it with my seniors in the organization, right? And that urge has to come in within, right? So certification is something which you need to kind of, and it's always better. So amongst hundreds of students who are appearing for the campus interviews, what is it that qualifies you and kind of identifies you to be a very separate and distinct individual, right? So that's something which lies with the student. When I talk about certification, it need not only be confined to technical certifications. Yeah, I mean, Mahesh's company is German-based, right? I mean, obviously, out of those 100 students which are coming in, somebody comes back and says, so that I have got a proficiency in German language, right? Coupled with the technical expertise he or she has, that person definitely has an edge as compared to the rest of the folks, right? And there is no stop. I mean the technology and the way we are ushering in terms of this digital world, there is no end to learning. Yeah. So during the course of our discussion itself, and I'm sure Mahesh would also agree to, and a lot of interviews when we come in, we also end up seeing, I mean, what is it that he or she would have done besides the normal stuff what typically you undergo
academics.
Yeah. So those are things which I believe are extremely important. We very liberally talk about communication skills, right? You go into the campuses, the mode of teaching is English, I agree, but then the moment the session is over, or a 45 minutes class, you tend to kind of interact in a language which you're more comfortable with. I don't want to make it very formal. Yeah, but at the same time, knowing the fact that English is going to be an extremely important, aspect of it because of the global workforce, the IT industry, and all. Yeah, what is it that you're trying to kind of do on your own self? Yeah, I may end up making a lot of mistakes while communicating with my fellow students or my fellow colleagues or my professors and all. But wouldn't that be the right age for us to commit mistakes and start learning from it and improving? So by the time you're in the fourth year and the interview process happens, you're much adept in terms of, you'll be able to articulate your views. So I have come across a lot of students who have good technical skills, but somehow the way they kind of not get through the finishing line just because they're not able to articulate well. And articulation is going to be extremely key. Yeah, because you end up interacting with a lot of folks within locally as well as outside, and how best you can kind of comprehend things and communicate it is going to be an extremely important aspect. So I have touched on a lot of things, the communication aspects, the technical certifications. One of the key things, which again is the need of the hour, which we are not playing much of a focus on, is in terms of having those additional skills to do with, the foreign language skills. It could be anything. Yeah, right, right. I mean, you can kind of, the hardest language probably, it's Japanese. I mean, you can end up kind of learning a Japanese skills. I guess companies are also investing a lot of, time and efforts in terms of, seeing to it that those skills and those proficiencies are passed on to the individuals concerned. So there's a few things which comes on top of my mind.
Oh, that's really great, sir. As far as your this new terminology, I can say live projects is really good concept, and I think that will definitely give us different boost. If the students start working on industry's live problems, yes, that is what industry expects. They say that students should, on maybe after a small training of a week or so, they should be able to understand client's problem and start working on it. So yes, the onus is there on educational institutes also. We have to accordingly make the arrangements, and industry nowadays we can see there also, if academia is going 2 steps ahead, industry is also coming 4 steps ahead. And that's why I think in the near future there are pretty good chances that the students will definitely work on more projects. Even at our institutes now, PCCOE has become autonomous. We are also thinking of giving them projects on each year initially instead of 1 year, and then maybe that can be increased. And there are certain universities we know, not only across Maharashtra but in some southern region, there are universities which give live projects, not live projects directly, but projects at least per semester. So I think somehow academia has understood this, but yes, live projects concept I really like, sir. And as you said, syllabus, yes, syllabus frequently we have to change, and probably we will need more inputs from industry partners because they know very well that what is going to be the future and how we should train the students. Thank you.
I just want to kind of add on to it.
Yes, sir.
When we talk about live projects, again, there are projects wherein a group is involved.
Okay, right.
And there are projects wherein you're supposed to kind of do it all alone, right? And there's a reason behind it, because in an organization, it's less about you. Obviously, when you start off your career, it's more about your own individual contribution. But then wherever you go, you grow up the value chain, right? So working within the group also is essential, because essentially in a larger organization or an organization, teamwork becomes extremely important. It's less about you, it's as a team, you are supposed to deliver the, the outcome to the customer concern. So I guess that's an aspect which is again being missed. So again, I'm quoting from all my experiences, I may be wrong, but then you end up kind of interacting with students wherein the rest of the 3 members in a 4-member group would have kind of toiled around, would have done everything, but the 4th person is responsible to kind of only kind of try to kind of sum it up and do it. While I'm saying so, that's an essential skill, but each one of them has to also qualify and kind of contribute in his or own ways to make the project successful. And I guess in a lot of institutes I have seen there is a project competition which happens.
True, sir.
So that's a very healthy way of encouraging students to kind of partake and put in their best foot forward.
That's really a good suggestion, sir. Yes, they will get that feel which otherwise they will do when they join the companies. But here itself, from day one or as early as possible, they say that we have to catch them young. So as early as possible, if we give this kind of projects, that team building and working on different modules and then combining, yes, that will definitely help. So thank you so much. Rakesh, sir, again, I would like to ask, yes, as far as technical graduates are concerned, engineers or diploma holders are concerned, yes, technical certifications, etc. But for management, there are some viewers who are the management aspirants also, because our PBS provides PGDM courses also. So some of the aspirants are also there listening to we people. So what are the say, or what do you think that these management graduates should do during their 2 years of course, PGDM also or MBA, so that they will be really deployable as early as possible? Management graduates specifically.
So my answer was not specifically to engineering. I mean, I would have quoted more of my engineering thing, because that's why, where we end up hiring more numbers. But this holds good for the management too. We all are. I mean, Mahesh is from a management, background. I am from a management background. Projects play a very important role there. You are supposed to kind of undergo live projects with the industries. If I'm interested in making a career in sales and marketing, I can't just sit in the library and go through a Philip Kotler and try to kind of give a pat on my back saying, so I've read through Philip Kotler, I understand his case studies. Unless and until you go into the field, get the taste of it, what a sales and marketing job is all about. Yeah, I mean, and I have seen individuals specializing in human resource, they end up doing projects with established companies, companies of repute, but what they would have done is they would have just copied the personal or HR policies of the company, written down in their project. That doesn't help, right? So you need to deep dive. I mean, why a policy has been made. Specifically now, this particular pandemic thing, what we witnessed, a lot of companies were forced to go back into the drawing rooms and try and figure it out in terms of what policies they need to have. They've never envisaged so many workforce getting in and working remotely. From an IT perspective, they never envisaged a possibility of people working remotely. Right, somewhere in the article I just read, there is so much of a dearth of talent everywhere in India as a country. Thanks to this particular thing which has come in, we are short of around 3 lakh cybersecurity professionals.
Right.
Slightly digressing, but what I'm trying to say is that this applies equally to the management students too. If I want to make a career in finance, I need to kind of not only stay invested in terms of the fundamentals, what I've been taught through in my college and my academic curriculum, but I also need to understand what typical industries, how does the finance function performs. I mean, is it different from a manufacturing company to an IT company to a pharma company, or it's one and the same? Because the fundamentals remains the same. Right. And for that, obviously, the industry should also have an outreach program. I mean, it's just not the entire thing rest on the students. Yeah, the industry should also have opportunities created so that they can kind of have such young bloods come in at an early stage, get exposed to all those things, because eventually on the longer run, it is the industry which is going to benefit. Yeah, because eventually the more you give them exposure, the more the industry will get stand benefited. So today, whatever any company does in the campus, obviously is to take care of their own company's interest, but from an industry perspective, it becomes useful. Yeah, so that's where you will end up seeing a lot of campus connects happening in the organization. Yeah,
Right.
The campus connect is not for a select set of pools whom they have identified. This is for the entire masses, so that the entire industry benefits out of that. So the message is very clear for the management students too. So they should stay invested in the fundamentals, and they should go outside and out of their comfort zone. And teaching staff plays a very important role there, because eventually they look up to them. Yeah, and they should kind of literally ensure that the students are kind of getting some challenging assignments at a regular intervals, which test their caliber. Yeah, the more you push them, the more better the results will be. Yeah, so that's what my
True, sir. Definitely, the case studies will definitely help, and we also try to encourage the students to undergo this kind of case studies. As far as these management students are concerned, yes, there is one more panelist from our end. Uma ma'am is there. Uma Dabir ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining. There was some initial technical glitch. That's why Lavangare sir is also finding problem, and Uma ma'am has already joined. Ma'am, I have already introduced you, as you have really good experience as far as corporate training, even in training many management and technical graduates. You are expert in that. Ma'am, my question to you is, how important are soft skills in hiring the freshers? And how can students from maybe specifically vernacular background students, Marathi, Hindi, or maybe Gujarati, other languages, how they can improve their communication skills, and specifically English communication skills? As Ragesh sir also said that English communication plays a major role. Ma'am, please, Uma ma'am. Ma'am, I think you are on mute. Can you please unmute yourself? Hello, Uma ma'am. You have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Now
Yeah,
we can
okay,
hear
all right.
you.
Thank
Please.
you. Right.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure. This is a new platform for me. I apologize. I'm technically challenged, technologically challenged. Right. Going back to your question about soft skills, I would say soft skills is a small niche. I would call it communication skills, which would include your vocal, your voice, your verbal skills, your language skills, your appearance, which we term as soft skills, your confidence, right? So all the students who are watching currently, especially the vernacular students, we tend to put them into one set when we are, it's a kind of a judgment. And I resent that because, like I keep on saying, English is only a language. Like I'm using my hands. This is my idea of a language, right? So these are non-verbal forms of communicating, which are also very vital. Similarly, vernacular students, any students, you must learn to project confidence in yourself. तो खुद को जानना बहुत जरूरी है ना? स्वतःला आधी ओळखायचं. What are your skills? Who are you? Right? When you get to know yourself, you get to know whether you need to change, whether you want to change. Like many of the very experienced panelists have pointed out to you, that the pandemic has been one awakening. We have all been locked down for about 6 months. We've learned to look inwards. So the camera has been pointed towards us. And it would be wonderful if you all had spent that time in understanding yourself, first of all, in also in evaluating yourself, right? The industry needs, number one, core skills, of course, वो तो कहीं नहीं जाता. टेक्निकल स्किल्स, आपके जो भी कोडिंग स्किल्स है, वो तो कहीं नहीं जाने वाला. दैट इज व्हाट यू नीड, राइट? अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, व्हाट डू यू नीड टू नो योरसेल्फ. या कहाँ इम्प्रूवमेंट करना है. सो व्हेन यू आर आस्क्ड थिंग्स लाइक, आई गेट आस्क्ड, ma'am, what do I do about my weaknesses? Students and all of you all are too young to call a word a weakness, right? It's an area of improvement. You all are all work in progress. So if you tell me, ma'am, ye weakness hai mera, I'm not able to focus, it's ridiculous to call it a weakness. Learn to focus. What is the big deal in that? You've identified the issue. That is number one step. Go ahead and reach out to YouTube videos. Go ahead and reach out to so much of information online, right, about how to change. So that is my suggestion to vernacular students, that please don't get hung up on language. Please don't think that, oh, English nahi aata to I can't be confident. Yeah, that is
Right.
that's a very negative way of thinking, right? Please understand that industry is looking for confidence, that I know where I need to improve. I know how to improve. I just need to ask for help, reach out and change. So that's what I'd like to emphasize on. And the pandemic has shifted the focus to the individual, right? So please understand that, join, if you all are looking for further education, please join institutes where you're treated as an individual, right? Where your personalized training is also as important as a general syllabus. And that's how you'll do well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And as you said, looking at the things positively will definitely help. And instead of calling it as weakness, you really nicely put it forward that we have to look at the ways how to improve. That's really good. Thank you, ma'am, for your remark. Now, my next question is to Mahesh sir. Mahesh sir, yes, there are some certifications which really help the students a lot. I'd like to know what different kind of certifications, industry and specifically IT industry, as you said, as you belong to, what certification students should do so that it will definitely help them in finding good career path. Mahesh sir, please. Mahesh sir, I think his connection, we have lost him. Rakesh sir, would you like to take this question? Which certifications are really important as far as career in IT sector is concerned?
I guess certifications which are more aligned to the I mean, it's contemporary technical skills and all is more prevalent. I mean, in terms of like digital is something which we are kind of embracing in a big way. So if you have any certifications around that, one of the topmost requirements, as per the LinkedIn survey is, I guess number one is blockchain developer. Yeah. So I'm not a technical person, but I understand. I mean, if you look into the trends where the industry is moving, and if you can take a cue out of that and try focusing yourself and kind of get an basic skills updated. I'm not saying you want to kind of during academic year itself be an expert level. That's something, a huge expectation which you're asking us to do. But at least if you can have the fundamentals and the basic certifications done, and each of those certifications have layers, right? So if you can focus on that, I mean, that's going to be very important. Adding, I mean, I just had a thought in mind when Uma was speaking to. See, the good old days when we used to have resources from the campuses and all, I mean, anything and everything, the understanding was that, I mean, whatever forms and shapes we hire a resource, it's the owners in the company to kind of get them onboarded and kind of put them onto a long training. I mean, the training used to extend for the entire year. Yeah, it could be in terms of the organization culture. It could be in terms of your technical skills. It's also confined. A lot of effort and time is also spent in terms of honing your communication skills and all. But then what we now see is this aspect of training, what the organization ends up doing post onboarding is something now it has been kind of done pre-onboarding. So that's the expectation what the industry is having, because the customers are expecting a resource to come on board and with the least handholding, he or she should get deployed to the projects.
Right.
right? So I'm slightly digressing from your question, but then this was a thought which came in my mind. So any aspects of training which we are talking about, be it the certifications or not, what we are looking at is obviously post onboarding, obviously looking at the customer demands and all. You are any which ways tend to kind of get into it. But then the expectation is even before you come on board, you should be essentially be having, all the skills which will help you to fast track and move into the project straight away, rather than spending a lot of time in terms of undergoing the training.
Oh, that's really good thought, sir. Yes, even your company, Birlasoft, even PCET has good signed one good MOU with your company, and as per that MOU, Birlasoft team is helping us. They select the students, and for entire year, they are now giving them different inputs and very good programs. They are planning for the students, technical stuff, non-technical stuff, and mostly digital technologies. They are training our students. So what do you think, Ragesh sir, this trend will continue? Because now many companies are expecting, even earlier you were with KPIT when KPIT was not separated with Birlasoft. But at that time also, even KPIT has this kind of model. They come, they hire, and then they train for entire year. It really helps a lot. And good part is that you guys help not only the selected students, but you give this or extend this help to non-selected students also. So what do you think? This will be new trend in the industry?
I don't think this is a new trend. This has always been in some forms and shapes. The only thing is that it has become more critical now, because that's where the customers' expectations are, right? And that's precisely one of the reasons that you end up seeing a lot of companies partaking and handshaking with the institutes and the universities to see to it that we also contribute to the academic curriculum, right? That's where this concept of having electives come in place, right? So each industry would like to kind of see to it that this is something which is lagging behind. And as an industry, it's our responsibility to come and have a course dedicated specifically. So in KPIT, I mean, if I have to take that example, we were focused on kind of having automotive electronics. I mean, we were specializing in automotive electronics, and we end up seeing resources coming in and they were not able to kind of perform to the expectation of us, right? So this is something which is definitely going to be in place. And a lot of owners on the teaching staff, a lot of owners on the universities and the private institutes, and that's precisely one of the reasons why a lot of institutes are kind of going for an autonomous status, so that you have the flexibility to have the industry specific courses and electives, which otherwise, if you're under the affiliation of the university, it becomes too difficult for you to do it. Yeah, so that's something, a trend which is going to be definitely there.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for these inputs. Uma ma'am, I would like to ask you one question. As far as training to corporate people are concerned who are already into industry, and is there any major difference when you train the students when they are there in colleges and when these experienced guys when they are trained by you? Do you see any difference in training modules or so?
Sir, I can't hear you well.
Shall I? I will repeat the question, ma'am. Ma'am, you train both. You train corporate sector guys as well as you train the students in the different institutes. So what is the major difference? Do you have to add up different styles or models for these guys, or learning when they are the learners, whether they are corporate people or students, they behave in the same way, or what is your strategy to
so I'm glad you brought up. I'm glad you brought up this question. It is an issue. When I also am a part of some campus placement panels for company, when we are invited to the institute for campus placement, we are told our students are industry ready, right? So industry ready seems to be the word used for their technical skills are as good as we can make them. Right? But why, for me, the problem is, why is this ignored, that when you join the corporate, you have to work first as a team member, right? So your team skills, working as a team should be honed, should be improved. You should be given sufficient practice. That is number one. Then how about the social skills? How about social learning? Right? When you join the corporate environment, you might be one of the best coders of your college. But if you aren't going to make an effort to fit in to a certain extent, right? Every corporate has a corporate culture, has corporate expectations about communication, right? So these also should be a part of the campus curriculum, right? This is my view. Technical colleges might want to differ that let's focus on the technical skills. But I'll tell you that when I start training, we do something called a boot camp with some companies because they want the freshers to fit in. They want the freshers to be comfortable from day one, right? So they put in a lot of effort. Now, this is pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, I'm really clueless about whether there would be sufficient budget to do this. So I would encourage the colleges, the post-grad colleges, when you are concentrating on creating a syllabus, please make this onboarding process in corporates a part of your syllabus, right? Give them an idea of what the corporate expects.
Right, ma'am. That's a good suggestion,
So,
and definitely, Please,
this is my
continue.
view.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, please continue, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is my view that it is campus placement, the importance you all give it towards the last 6 months. I would encourage you all to look at it from day one. Why isn't there not there? There should be an onboarding process in the campus itself, right? Why talk about onboarding only once you join the corporate world, right? Because then you are sending you're sending not really prepared students, right? Technically, they might be very sound, and I'd like to believe that. But how about how they fit in? How about them being a part of the corporate world? So I would request that students look for this process also in your syllabus.
And that's a good message, ma'am. And we academicians, we have to take it very, very positively. And yes, we will take it, ma'am. It's really good concept that onboarding during college life.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
because
please,
now more than ever, budget is going to be an issue for all corporates. I think you'll agree that. Plus, they would like to take this. They would like this taken off their plate. That आप इतना सब पढ़ाते हैं, engineering, medicine, management skills पढ़ाते हैं, तो ये क्यों नहीं? Why is communication skills, soft skills, working as a team, why are these being put on a back burner, and why are they addressed only in the last 10 minutes of your syllabus like that?
True. Ma'am, I think the reason being everybody runs after exams and marks, and that's why this kind of situation is been there for a long time. And yes, probably we have to change a lot, and we have to adapt the concepts in which we should actually work on these different aspects from day one. Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much for such a good suggestion. I think Mahesh sir has
I'll be
joined.
signing off now.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I got
yes, all right. Thank you so much.
Yes, Uma ma'am, thank you so much for joining and giving very
my
good
pleasure.
inputs. Thank you, ma'am.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
So Mahesh sir is there. Mahesh sir, as far as the training is concerned, yes, we know that the students don't have all those skills actually which are expected. All the skills which are expected by you guys, corporate sector, these students are not well equipped with. But then which are the training modules as far as graduate engineering students or management students are concerned? And when they undergo the training after their joining, what industry tries to give them as far as management students are concerned, and also the engineering students are concerned? Training modules. Mahesh sir, can you hear me? Yeah, sir, it's a question to you that yeah, we can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. First of all, hearing both the speakers.
No.
You asking about training modules, right? But I'll just take a step back, Ravandale sir.
Yes, sir.
The speakers have been very valuable. A couple of viewpoints from here based on. First of all, you should make sports as a mandatory activity. Okay. we are just focusing on jobs and jobs. That's not the way going forward, I can tell you today. Okay, today the situations are changing. We need a very different attitude people who have a very high stress level understanding basically in a very complex environment, who can work in a global scenario with multilingual people. And for that you need a different attitude, and that attitude doesn't come only from the study.
Okay.
It comes from the sports. So I encourage you to please have definitely have some sports activity all throughout the year, so that all students can participate. What sports can teach them, nothing can teach them, nothing. Okay,
True, sir.
they'll understand the failures, they'll understand the comeback, they'll understand the who's back, and they'll understand how to be a great team player. Only sports can teach that. I can tell you the sports attitude is always different from a normal people, and it is equally important to be a part of that curriculum, be it engineering, MBA, whatever, and whatever sports. So that's my point number one. Point number two, again, everyone talked about very important things. I may be repeating, but for the sake of importance, I'll repeat it again. What is happening? People are just focused on the job, and their overall development is very average. I must tell you that. Whenever we interview people, we onboard them. We later on find it difficult to adjust these students with the corporate work environment. So they're not tuned. They're not tuned to expectations. Uh, so this generation is definitely different, and we also need to adjust. At the same time, if you can fine tune before onboard them, at your end, so you should have a special focus not only on the curriculum, but also on personality development. So second
Right.
part is personality development. Overall covers the personality from a communication, from overall mannerism, from attitude, from hardworking. All these skills are equally important. I can tell you, it's not only about coding. It was never about coding. Okay, but we completely missed that part. So these are the two important points. And now coming to your question, sir. Uh, so
Modules.
what we do now, since the situation has changed, we are also changing. We are getting into very specifics. So whenever we'll come to the campus, we'll come to the specific project and people who are working on that project. If I want to hire for cloud, if I want to hire for Android, iOS, machine learning, artificial intelligence, I'll get exactly the same panel who are working on those projects. Okay, and I'll have a very project specific hiring. Okay, so here I'll expect basic fundamental of software, which should be good. Again, all the other aspect on communication and other part. And plus, once we onboard them, a 6 months training program, sir, which covers everything, and it has soft skill as well, apart from technical skill. So I have a 6 months complete end-to-end training program, which has been rated very highly, wherein we teach them everything again from the beginning, because what they learned books is very different from a practical purpose. So all trainings are available, soft skill, technical skill, personality development. Nair sir has talked about languages. We have a languages classes also, wherein anyone can enroll. So it's a learning organization which we tend to do. But again, last basic question, whenever I visit to the campus, I know people mug up the concepts, mug up the theories, but that doesn't help. I simply ask them, how can you relate, a cricket match with software development life cycle? So
Okay.
these are the unique questions which they need to understand. Because if their concepts are clear, they have to relate something, and I can tell you the exact answer of how they can relate. Because if they can't relate their knowledge to the practical problems or practical things, then it's in vain. All the education and everything is in vain. So I encourage your education system also to probe them to engage more from a relating the things with the software. How a farm a farm can be related to software development. So these are the relative things they have to always think through. So I'll just stop here. Sorry for the long answer because I missed few things. So I just
No,
want
no,
to
no,
cover
sir.
it.
It was really good. And specifically, as you said, for overall personality development, including sports and even winning, losing, everything, you should be really able to digest. And that specifically team building activities will definitely help us. Thanks for such a good suggestion, sir. Definitely let us see how we academia can incorporate this kind of new suggestions, but definitely we will work on it, sir. Thanks for your inputs. Ragesh sir, actually we see some problems as far as joining of the students is concerned, and even some industry people say that these students when they join, some of them they leave us very early, and maybe you face this attrition problem on a regular basis. So how serious is this attrition issue, and how you people tackle this attrition issue?
Yeah, so Sheetal say, yeah, attrition is something the whole industry is grappling with, and that's something a reality. So there are multiple reasons behind why an attrition happens. A lot of owners also lies with an organization to ensure that the incumbent whomsoever is a part of the organization gets the right working environment. The culture should be kind of right enough. Plus the promises made during or at the time of evaluations and all, in terms of the profile and the growth aspects and everything, will live up to it. Yeah, and wherever you end up seeing that there is some kind of a gap, I mean, the incumbent also is smart enough to kind of gauge it. Yeah. So there are multiple reasons why attrition happens, but my only observation is, I have ended up seeing college grads coming in, joining. They end up taking some decisions which are not very rational in terms of they are, and Mahesh has already harped on the fact that that's possibly to do with the kind of age what they are in. It should never be a monetary aspect which should force you to kind of jump the ship. Yeah, a lot of focus, it has to be only to do with the profile what you're handling. Yeah, what element of learning your current profile has. Yeah, and how much you can kind of imbibe from the company. Yeah, that is more important aspect. Money is something, I mean, there's a saying, right? I mean, you should do work in such a way that money should be after you, you should not be after the money. Yeah, so that's something which we see is lagging from a fresher's perspective, and a lot of companies do have precisely for that reason, and that's something, again, an old concept. A lot of companies do have this bond, yeah, wherein they ensure that while a fresher gets onboarded, he or she undergoes a rigorous training process, and what company believes is post the training, they should be spending some time in the organization so that at least the ROI comes through. Yeah, but then that's something over a period of time, I guess, I mean, that's going to be done with it. But this is extremely important. The only thing what from an organization perspective we should ensure is that we see to it that we provide them the right environment and the profile which would help them to kind of stick up. That's what my 2 cents are.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And dear students, those who are the viewers, please take a clear-cut message from sir here. Don't run after the money, right? Initially, you try to get knowledge, try to become really expert in some technologies, and money will really be after you. So thank you, sir, for such a wonderful message to all our audience. Sir, one question is there that what will be the upcoming challenges for industry as well as academia as far as bridging this gap is concerned, and how industry also should contribute, because most of the industries, they are helping the academia to grow faster and make the students ready for the industry, but still I think there is a lot to do, because businesses, they think that actually earning money is, yes, it is their priority, and they are not NGOs, so they have to take care of that. But how industry should contribute in the development of the students and in turn the institutes, what are the ways looking forward?
I'll just add my 2 bits and then I'll request Mahesh to elaborate on that. The choice is on us. I mean, previously the industry used to think that, I mean, you people are supposed to kind of do every bit and we should get a finished product. So apparently we start kind of investing in that, and that same thought process continued for long. And then we realized that it's not working. Yeah. The option was two-pronged. Either you be a part of the problem or you be a part of the solution. Right. So industry decided that we need to kind of plunge into see to it. It's just not going to be possible between with only relying on the academic institutes of the students. And that's where probably you'll end up seeing a lot of this campus connect initiatives. I like that point what Uma made just some time back in terms of the onboarding process to start well before the final placement happens. Why it has to be all reserved towards the end of the year, right? So the approach should be more of a finishing school kind of a thing. Yeah, wherein you kind of keep on honing the skills as you kind of be abreast in terms of what the organization is looking at. Yeah, and have all those things inculcated while a person is undergoing the academic, association within the institutes itself. So these were the 2 things, and industry started realizing it, and we are definitely partaking in our own ways and means in terms of updating the course syllabus, trying to partake in terms of having our own SMEs coming and visiting the institutes and kind of spending time with the students. Last but not the least, to kind of give you projects which are more exciting, challenging, which we find as an organization exciting and challenging, something which our experienced people are finding it a problem to kind of resolve, and it's fun. And a lot of time the surprises are there, wherein the freshers come up with some aspects of an issue which otherwise an experienced person wouldn't have thought through, because the advantage with somebody coming in from a college is that he or she doesn't have any baggages whatsoever.
True.
Right. I request Mahesh to elaborate on that.
Mahesh sir, how industry should contribute?
Nair sir has covered already a very good part. But I would say, this is an old concept. The institute in getting people from from PhD on board will help you to build that competency.
Right, sir.
And industry doesn't have that commitment because again means we also occupied into way too many things. Despite of we want to contribute, we are not able to contribute. So why not to invest? Why not to get a couple of very strong guys from corporate, onboard them in your institute, and they can the entire course of the thing. They can add a lot of value in terms of real-time experience, in terms of preparing your students well before time, and can really add value. I can tell you because this concept has been tried and tested by everyone, but it doesn't work out.
True, sir. Yes, many industries are helping, but yes, I think industry is nowadays thinking that yes, these students will be there with colleges only for 4 years as per engineering or 2 years as far as MBA is concerned. But for next 40 years, they will be there with one or the other corporate. So corporate people have to think a lot about it. And yes, even though very positive things are happening in industry academia collaboration, but still we need to go a long way, I think. Sir, there are some questions from the audience also. Arif Sheikh is asking the question. People are saying no jobs are there in the market for engineers except in the IT field. Is it true? And can we throw some light on it? Rakesh sir?
I don't agree to it. While opportunities are everywhere, and specifically with more or less the pandemic behind us, it's still too early for us to say so the economy is done with it, but the market is opening up. And there are plenty of requirements there. But then, yes, I mean, going back to our discussion points, all the points what the esteemed panelists have been talking about it. Again, coming back to it, saying so there are no jobs available and I'll not end up doing anything. You have to change the mindset and you have to be positive. And there are multiple ways to kind of bring it to the notice of an corporate. I exist, and these are the qualifications what I have. Right. While you are scouting for an opportunity, you're done with your academic thing. How do you invest your time productively? Am I only kind of sit and whine and grind saying, so I've been applying, and there has been no reply whatsoever, and I'm kind of getting demotivated? Or you keep the efforts on, along with that, you kind of also sharpen your axe in terms of, going back to the concepts towards the fourth year of engineering. I mean, I have come across cases, Mahesh, to again kind of confirm, you end up focusing so much on your fourth year subjects that, I mean, a basic question which comes in from the first year of engineering, you are kind of struggling to answer. Yeah, and the answers which has been very weakly put forth to us is that, I mean, that's some years back we have rated. It's too fundamental a question for us to kind of think and answer to you. So that's not an acceptable thing. Keep on revisiting whatever you have learned. Go back and kind of revisit on your projects. See to it that while you seek for an opportunity, is there a way I can kind of utilize this time, reach out to the institutes, but not saying, so I'm looking for a job, but is there an opportunity for me to kind of engage with you on small projects? Yeah, and there are organizations without naming wherein, the projects are available in the websites. This is up for taking. You have to just go show your interest and take that particular project and deliver it. And that's various ways. That means you can kind of, bring it to the notice of the hiring team. That, yeah, I mean, this is what it is. I was unlike others. I have done a different approach. Yeah, and certifications is something which you can kind of engage with. Yeah, but then this question, I find it slightly difficult to understand, because of late, if you see any of the news in the recent past, you have seen the opportunities which are coming up specifically for freshers. Almost all the giants have come back in terms of the sheer number of volume, and we are going back to the good old times when the companies used to have that kind of a volume, right? Yeah, and nobody better than you to kind of know that, Sheetal sir. So I mean, yeah, opportunities are plenty. It's just up to us to see to it that how best we can kind of grab that opportunity.
True. Thank you. Mahesh sir, would you like to add something? I think his connection is again an issue.
So one question which apparently is a challenge for all of us is, while we do our education, we are all educated, but the bigger question is, does your education support you to be employable?
True. Employability. Yeah, there are opportunities, but students have to prove the metal. That is true, sir. And as far as his question, I would like to add upon. He says that are the maximum jobs in IT sector? There are more jobs in the IT sector, I think. But yes, if we see today's newspaper also, Modi, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Ji Modi is conducting one meeting with all the CMs today. And probably he is trying to give the concept that why India can't become a mass production hub for the entire world. And I think today's discussions are going to go around that, and probably they will come up with good solutions also. Let's hope some good things. Apart from that,
be a manufacturing hub. That's the
manufacturing thing. Yes. Manufacturing hub he wants to make India as, and I think when he thinks, he tries to deliver. So let's hope that some good things will happen in the coming future. And yes, as far as electronic sector is concerned, which is also really important, dear friends, across the country, they are trying to come up with electronic clusters. And these electronics, every cluster will have so many industries, and probably in every state, they are trying to come up with one cluster. And maybe in coming years, we can see in Maharashtra also near Pune, one electronic cluster is coming up. Probably that will definitely add some jobs which will be in core sector. And as far as civil sector is concerned, I think so many government job opportunities are there with these available for these civil engineering students. And sometimes we don't find the candidates enough to cater to this particular need, and most of them they want to go ahead with maybe MPSC, UPSC kind of preparation and then joining those kind of jobs. Sir, I'd like to put forth one question: importance of internship, because it really will help us, all of us, a lot. So, what is your say on this? How internship is really important, and how industry can accommodate? Because AICT is also saying that now here onwards, every student has to undergo internship as it is necessary for maybe a lawyer, law student, or a medical student to undergo internship. So till date it was not compulsory, but now these AICT and other bodies, government bodies, are also saying so. So Ragesh sir and Mahesh sir, my question to both of you: what is the role of internship and how we can improve the numbers? Ragesh sir?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'll
Mahesh
let
sir.
Mahesh start and then I'll add on to it. Yeah.
Yes, please, Mahesh sir. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
before this mandatory part, we have started long time back this internship part. You know, in T systems, so we have internship for more than 800 students. You know,
Yes, sir.
started a relationship. Not that internship is the way forward, okay? Because our side also, after joining, so they 6 months, they understand the project, the technical, and they the product. I'm a great believer of this concept.
Fine, sir. Thank you. Ragesh sir, you are saying?
I second exactly what Mahesh has been harping on. And that's precisely why a lot of companies do kind of go for internship. Yeah, but that's something also a lot of owners rest on the resource or the students concerned to take it in utmost seriousness, right? Because this is something which you have got an opportunity to be outside your class and kind of get exposed to the real life corporate environment. Yeah, the good and bad side of it. Yeah, so you make the most of it, and that's exactly the objective of the organization too, so that they get a perspective in terms of how an organization is. And I keep on telling that in the campus interviews, the only option what we have when we do a pre-placement talk is to talk good about the company, right? Yeah, internship is an opportunity to kind of see the good and the bad side of it. Yeah, so you and that helps you to kind of take an informed decision. Is this something which is aligned to my interest? Can I make a career out of it? Yeah, so yeah, it's an extremely important and integral part of it.
Thank you, both of you, for your nice views on this internship concept. One student is there, Shlaga. She is asking, as a fresher, what type of skills does the interview panelist expect from me? So I think in general, you guys have already covered, but would you like to give a brief answer?
Anything which can help you kind of have a distinct identity amongst the masses. Yeah, it could be in terms of your hobbies. Extremely important. We do spend a lot of time understanding, I mean, during the entire period of your academic life, how extensively you have been partaking in the extracurricular activities. Yeah, what exactly has been your role and contribution while you're doing a group project? Yeah, what exactly? I mean, these are things which we are looking at. Obviously, your marks and everything is something which is already there in the resume. So and obviously there are going to be questions on certain basics and fundamentals which you can't kind of do away with. You can't shirk away from the fact that, I mean, this particular portion was covered way back in year one, and that's too long a period of time for us to kind of remember. We have moved ahead and we are talking about advanced skills. For all you know, we will not even ask you about any advanced topics, right? And more often than not, the interviewer would like to make the resource comfortable in terms of, what is it that you have done? What are your strengths? And we would like to build on to that particular aspects more. Yeah, and last but not the least, be true to your own self. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, whatever you have done, you say that with a lot of confidence, because the interviewers otherwise will be able to make it out that this is something which you have rehearsed and prepared, and this is not something which your true self is all about. And that's going to do more harm than good to you. Hope that helps.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. Mahesh, sir, your concluding remarks? Mahesh, sir?
I guess Mahesh sir is having some issues.
Yeah, technical issue.
I think
Yeah.
some issues. Am I audible, Ravandali?
Yeah,
sir?
you are audible, sir.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I think Ragesh sir has. So only couple of things, body language. The moment you enter the room, first 5 minutes, are extremely critical. How you present yourself, articulate yourself. Okay, and basic fundamentals of software engineering, and the confidence. Whatever you know, you should say, and whatever you don't know, you should clearly admit it. So these are the normal basic things. And we can go into depth and discuss about it. But yeah, and everyone knows that campus interview is going to happen sometime. But most of the time, I feel people are shocked, to give the interviews. So when we know in advance that we face this situation some time or other, why people don't prepare for that? So it's a preparation. Interview is a preparation. It's a practice. It's like a game you're going to play all the while, and you have.
I think we
So that you
again.
can
Yeah.
know how to present yourself. So these are the important points I feel. Yeah.
Thank you, Mahesh sir. So all the panelists, thank you so much for giving so nice inputs in a specific way, and students are really happy. We can see many comments. They thanked both of you as well as Uma ma'am for answering their questions. And on behalf of People's Introed Education Trust as well as Pune Business School and all our students, staff members, we would like to thank both the panelists, Ragesh Nair sir, as well as Mahesh Goswami sir from the corporate, and Uma ma'am who is the corporate trainer. Unfortunately, Hemant sir couldn't join due to some technical issue. But yes, it was very good interaction. And dear viewers, there are many takeaways for you. Yes, you have to, apart from your syllabus, you have to think beyond that, and your communication and other aspects are equally important as far as all the panel members, their views are concerned. So please work on it, as Rakesh sir as well as Mahesh sir emphasized. Certifications are important. So please try to see which are the technologies, trending technologies in your own domain. And if you know some of the, or you understand and you like some of the technologies, please go ahead with certifications. And as rightly said by Rakesh sir, live projects. I think that will be the key, dear friends. If you really want to succeed in early stage, please work on more and more live projects. Even though they are not the part of the syllabus, please work on it. And as said by Mahesh sir, your team skills or team spirit is really important, dear friends. How you coordinate amongst team members. And that's why he suggested that sports can be included. Yes, we will definitely try to include those kind of good activities, sir. But dear students, that can also be takeaway, even though in syllabus, if it will take time to include that, but on your own, you can go ahead with such kind of good activities. Once again, I thank both of you as well as Uma ma'am. I thank Ketan Desle sir, our director of PBS, Rao sir, Ganesh Rao sir, who is the director of our Pune Business School. Thanks to all the team members, technical team members, Ketan Desle sir, as well as Anup sir, Mitali and Vishal and all their team members for helping us in coordination. Thanks to everyone and have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day. Thank you.
Good day, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mahesh sir.
Thank you.